This has been one of the most frustrating videos to make so far on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So I am a tech person. I consider myself a tech person, um, but I'm still a newbie when it comes to evaluating like microphones. And I wanted to do this from the perspective of a YouTube beginner such as myself, who's just getting into YouTube, doing videos. And I wanted to see how this is gonna work out. I hope that you like this video. If you do, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would mean the world to me, and liking the video would mean the world to me. I'm gonna probably have another video with just the unboxing of these two microphones, uh, and you're gonna see the comparison that I'm working on right now is basically for the Blue Yeti, the Quadcast S for HyperX, and the headset, my trusted headset that I've been using for a long time, but people told me I need to move on. I need to have more professional sounds to my videos. Hello everyone, this will probably be a two-part video where I'm comparing the Blue Yeti microphone to the HyperX Quadcast S version, and I'm gonna be comparing both of them. See, now you see the colors and everything's nice. I usually use my headset, as you know, for my videos. I did hurt my thumb opening one of these boxes. I wanted to go over the comparison. Somebody said that the headset volume isn't great, and um, they suggested that I use microphones like the ones you see in front of you. These were, I found, like they were amongst the highest rated on Amazon, so I got them. And to show you my screen here, and you should be seeing the NVIDIA broadcast. The noise removal is on. I'm gonna disable it for now, especially that I don't really need it for the microphone. I've been faced with these microphones picking up the sound from the computer, from the fans. And even though I had it open before, now I put the glass panel on and to try to lower the noise level. But I can see it, like if you can see here on the screen. We're gonna start with the NVIDIA noise removal off, or yeah, noise removal. I'm gonna start with the Blue Yeti, which means I'm gonna have to enable it, and that's gonna be volume 100 and the gain 50. So let's look at the back here. So the gain is here, so the gain is gonna be right at 50. I'm gonna enable it right now. Oh, it was muted. So you should be hearing the sound right now for the Blue Yeti, and that's at gain 50. And we said we wanted the volume to be 100. So I went to the application here. I'm gonna disable Blue Voice, keep it off for now, and we want to put the gain at 100. So this is currently what you hear, and if I get closer, that's gonna be the sound that you're hearing. I feel like it picks a lot of noise. This is more natural how far I want it to be, but I noticed that sometimes the sound goes on and off. I'm not gonna know exactly the results of this test, even though I did a bunch here. All these videos without pictures that you see, these were tests for the microphone, and now I'm doing this one for you, and hopefully I'm gonna provide value to you. So this is at 100. Now let's try with the volume 50 and the gain at 50. So I'm just going to decrease the gain. Decrease the volume inside the application, which I went the gain by now. And I don't know if you can hear the computer right now. You probably do because NVIDIA broadcast is off. Let's make sure it's off. Oof. The noise removal. So this is the test. Next, I'm gonna have the volume at 80. So the volume is gonna be at 80. The volume is at 80, and okay, and the gain is gonna be at 20. So since this is a knob, I have to just evaluate it and look at approximately how it is. So I would say this is around 20% to 25%. Put the mic back here. I don't know if you hear any difference, and I should have done like a video on off. In this way you can see how things are. Now the blue voice on, this is gonna be this test now. Blue voice on, no noise cancellation off. So I'm gonna enable blue voice. Noise reduction, it's gonna be off, and this is gonna be probably the same as before. At input gain, we're saying so volume at 80 and input gain is around 20. Now I'm gonna enable noise reduction, which is by default set to 6 decibel. And I don't know if you hear something different. Sorry, I want you to hear that. So 6 decibel, and right now I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna increase that to 12. I don't know if the volume is different, if you can pick up different things. Notice I'm talking to the camera, talking to you guys, but at the same time, I'm also talking while looking at the screen. So I want to see how the mic is gonna react to that, because in one of my tests, I think it was, I was losing the voice. It was going on and off, depending on if I'm speaking directly to the microphone or not. And by the way, both microphones are set into the polar settings of cardioid, if that's the way to say it, which means that the sound is coming mostly from the front and it goes a little bit on the sides, and as it diminishes. Input gain 80, so the volume 80, and the gain itself on the microphone is set to 20-25%. That should conclude the test for the Blue Yeti. Now I'm gonna go to the HyperX and do the same test. Of course, I'm not gonna do the Blue Voice because that's irrelevant. So first of all, remove that. We're going to the HyperX. You're gonna hear me in a second there. HyperX Quadcast S. It's supposed to be the same as the Quadcast, but I like that this has USB-C and has the RGB kind of thing. So it's a different feel. It's newer. So now you should be hearing me on that one. The volume is going to be 100 and the gain 50. So the volume, which application is that for it? So the application is called Ingenuity. And we said we want the volume to be, let's decrease this one, the Yeti, decrease, minimize. So we want the volume at 100, so that's what it is. And the gain at 50. So it's gonna be interesting. So let's say 50, so that's gonna be probably the third dot on the scale of the HyperX. It's kind of weird because the way it moves, it's these are the levels, but you can really go below and really go above. Chances are this is not your first video looking at the HyperX or the Blue Yeti, so you already know about this thing. So I'm gonna put it at the third dot out of 5, and that should be the volume 100, gain 50. Now let's assume I'm speaking closer to the microphone, and this is how it's gonna sound like. This is all without noise cancellation, right? I did get the guard here. What do you call that? PopNet professional microphone. PopNet. I guess this is to protect against if you tend to spit while talking, or like you just like make all these noises. I really hate it. It looks good, it looks nice, but once I put it on the microphone, it blocked the RGB. And you know, like, this is so nice. This is a nice thing of this microphone, that you have this color options and you can change them in the application. So I don't like this. I hope I don't have to use this ever. That said, I am this microphone does have an integrated pop filter inside, so it shouldn't be that bad. Now let's go to the next test, which is going to be volume 50 at gain 50. So I'm just going to decrease the volume. All right, I don't know if you hear any difference. I'm going to start grading them after I rewatch this recording and see like if it's actually good or bad and how things are. But you know, you can do your own grading in the meantime, because you're hearing this. I'm gonna get closer to the microphone and speak closer to it. Hopefully this guides you and gives you a better idea of how things would be if the mic is pretty close to your face. And I did get the microphone stand, which I need to figure out how to set it up. But for now, that's what it is. Now let's try with the volume 80 and gain 20. So if I set the volume to 80 and the gain to 20, so that's gonna be probably around the first dot, I would say, of the 5 dots. And this is how it's gonna sound like. I'm talking normally now. I'm probably like 2 hands shibren. I don't know if you have that if we have that in English, but I just did an Arabic measurement. Let's say I'm around 30, 40 centimeters away from the microphone. Now, if I'm closer and I'm talking like this, you're probably gonna have a different experience, especially with the microphone stand. It's gonna go in front of you or something, and it's gonna be different. The main issue here is while you're watching, you're hearing, you're probably hearing the computer in the background, which I never had this issue with the microphone, with the headset. So let me just go quickly to the headset. You will see. There you go. This is the headset. People say like, "Oh, it's not a nice sound and everything," but I love the headset, to be honest, so far. Which, if you're looking to buy these right away, you're gonna be a bit discouraged because it is what it is. And my recommendation so far, even before putting the grading on, if you don't have NVIDIA broadcast installed, if you don't have an NVIDIA graphics card, I would hold on buying these kind of microphones. Save the money. Keep your headset or get a headset because it's gonna probably pick up less noise from the environment, such as the computer fans. It's not really worth it if you don't have the NVIDIA broadcast, and that's the main reason. Now I'm gonna jump to the second set of tests, and that's with enabling the noise removal. So let's go back to the Blue Yeti. So you should be hearing now the Blue Yeti, and without noise removal, I'm gonna enable it right now while I'm talking. So you should see like it's really different right now. I'm gonna start with the volume 100 and gain 50. So let's go to the application for Logitech and volume 100 and the gain 50. So where's the gain right now? I'm gonna put it at 50. Ow, my finger's still hurting. So one thing though, like those microphones, I know this video is only about testing the different options, but I like that this has anti vibration setup if you want with all the cables and everything. Well, the Blue Yeti, it's pretty heavy, and the bass is really heavy, but at the same time, it's it feels like if I do sudden movements, if I touch stuff on the like on my desk or something, it's gonna vibrate through the microphone, and the experience is gonna be less. That's the main reason I don't like this. Now, this is at $200 Canadian, the Quadcast S, and the Blue Yeti is around 180 Canadian, and they have it right now on offer, so it's around 120 Canadian. So volume 100, gain 50. I'm getting closer here so that you can hear me when I'm speaking closer to the microphone. I know a lot of people put that like on the stand, but I find that to be a little bit unrealistic because it's kind of annoying. Like, why would you have something so close to your mouth? I'm speaking as I have a headset on. So now let's say the volume 50 and the gain 50. So the volume 50 inside the application and the gain is 50, and this is what you're hearing. I don't know if the quality, like if you like it or not, but this is how it's set up right now. I'm gonna get also close and talk to the mic. It's interesting that both microphones, they have 4 polar settings. So you have the cardioid, which is what I'm using right now. You have the bidirectional or bidirectional. You have the omnidirectional, which picks up sound from all around, and you have the stereo, which is basically nice if you want to do ASMR and speak like left to right or something like this. It's going to enable 3 sides of the microphone facing and the 2 sides. Uh, Now the next test is going to be at volume 80 and the gain at 20. So that's going to be volume 80 and the gain at 20. So approximately, I would say it's around here 20 to 25%, and this is how it would be sound, how it's going to sound like. And now I'm going to be speaking even closer to the microphone, as I said before, depending on your setup. With NVIDIA noise reduction on or noise removal on, I'm going to enable the blue voice. And by the way, they say disable blue voice if you have NVIDIA going on, like working. But I find that so far they've been working well together. I'm gonna enable it and noise cancellation off. So here is noise cancellation off for the Blue Yeti, and with the NVIDIA noise cancellation on. So it's the blue microphone or Blue Yeti microphone or Logitech application noise cancellation. I'm gonna put that at 6 decibel, which is usually the usual. Add volume 80, and I don't know if you find any difference between that and the having just the NVIDIA working for you. And now I'm gonna put it at 12. So that's the 12. I'm seeing the bar here. I think the sound is pretty loud. I'm gonna speak also close here to the microphone so you have a better idea. Apologies if you're watching this on TV or something. The sound is probably going up and down just because I'm comparing different settings, different microphones. So it's not standardized. I promise my other videos are gonna be nice and like have a some kind of a stable sound to them. So we did the 12 decibel. Now we're gonna jump to the HyperX and see. And by the way, I'm also talking, looking at the camera and looking at you basically, and also looking at the TV so that you see if there's gonna be any difference while I'm looking back and forth. So how is the microphone gonna react to this? Now we don't need this anymore. We're going to NVIDIA and we're gonna say we want the Quadcast S. Okay, this is better. So the Quadcast S is now enabled. You can see from the nice color here, which you can change. I love this. I really love this. Okay, um, noise removal wise, let's look at the options. So we want the volume 100 and gain 50. So where is it? Ingenuity, volume 100 and gain at 50. So the gain at 50, we're gonna say around the third, uh, approximately. Yeah, around the third dot out of five. And this is how it's gonna sound like. And if I speak closer, it's gonna sound like that. I see that from the streaming software, from the Streamlabs software, the volume is not going as high as the Blue Yeti microphone when I had it to 100. So that's pretty interesting. But let's see, like, okay, that's not in the test that I'm running there, but I'm gonna put the gain at 100. So this is the gain at 100, and if I speak closer to the microphone, that's how it's gonna sound like. So now I'm gonna go to the second test, and I'm gonna revert the gain to 50 again. So this is at gain 50. Now the second test is at volume 50 with gain 50. Oof. Okay, that took a while. So I think you can click here and no, you cannot. So this is 50 with the gain being approximately at 50. And the next test that I'm going to be doing is going to volume 80 with the gain at 20. So volume 80 and the gain around 20. So that's going to be approximately around the first dot out of 5 or just before that. And that's how it's going to sound like. Now I'm speaking to the microphone. I'm going to speak closer to it and see how it is. I'm going to sit normally, and this is how I'm going to interact if I'm on a Zoom call or I'm recording or whatever. So this is 80 and gain around 20. Uh, the next three tests are irrelevant just because it's about the blue voice. So I'm gonna just black this out, and it is what it is. So I like the sound so far of the HyperX more because I found the Blue Yeti to be kind of erratic and it goes up and down. If I move a little bit, like you can hear, like it's kind of crazy. It goes crazy on you. And the headset is still my favorite, to be honest. I know, like, I'm supposed to be professional. I'm supposed to be a professional YouTuber now, but I am still like at what is it, 280, 281 followers. Please do consider subscribing to the channel. It will mean the world to me. I'm still learning a lot, but it is what it is. Uh, so, cardio. These are the tests that I wanted to do. I'm gonna go back to the headset, and so that you can see again what's the difference. So here's the headset. What I have for a headset is the Alienware AW9A8, which I've had for maybe 2 years or even 3 years so far, and I never had issues with it. It's just like if I'm recording a YouTube video, I probably need to figure out how to lower the volume, maybe from system settings, because if I breathe in like this while I'm recording, people tend to hear that, and it's not a very nice sound for everyone to hear. So let's, before I go to the grading, my recommendations so far, without even putting the grading, I'm gonna put the grading on and do like a little short chapter about it. But so far, if you don't have NVIDIA broadcast, as I mentioned before, don't bother getting any of these microphones. I know they look nice, they look professional, but I wouldn't invest in that. Just keep your headset. If it's a nice headset, just lower the system settings, volume for the microphone, and move on until you get like 1,000, 2,000 followers or whatever. You can start looking into getting more professional microphones with the modulators, like all this fancy stuff that famous YouTubers have. So now I am on the chat one, okay, and let's do the grading. I'm gonna go watch this video that I did right now, which is around 20, 21 minutes, and I'm gonna put the grading and do one last section for this video before calling it a day. See ya.
One eternity later.
And I'm back. I'm sharing my screen right now. You're gonna see on this half the grading that I gave to the headset or to the microphones. I apologize. Um, I'm sure you're gonna do your own grading. Right now, I'm using the HyperX Quadcast S, which I think is the winner so far. If I'm choosing one of these microphones, it's gonna be the winner. You're gonna see the grading that some of them were terrible, like the Blue Yeti with the volume 100 and gain 50. I gave it a 1. You could clearly hear my computer in the background, and it was a horrible thing to listen to. So it's not that nice. I do like the look of the Blue Yeti. It feels classical. It feels like you're like some kind of a movie, or you're watching Frank Sinatra sing or something. It has some classical vibe to it, but and the HyperX is more like modern, gamesy, streaming, especially with the RGB. I thought I'm gonna prefer the RGB and the look of the HyperX to the Blue Yeti, but the Blue Yeti actually looks nicer. That said, I think I'm going more with the HyperX. It has the best sound so far based on my testing. The best sound I got was with the HyperX Quadcast S set to volume 100 and the gain at 50. So this is approximately the gain that I have right now, and the volume at 100. Let me just confirm. Oh, it's at 92, so I'm gonna put it at 100. And so far, I think this was the best volume. Now, I do want to do one last test before I let you go, and that is go to the system settings. I'm gonna probably have to hide my email here. I'm gonna go to the system settings, and I'm gonna choose the microphone from my headset and see if it's better. Because right now, this is what you're gonna hear with my headset. The sound is obviously too loud. You hear me breathe in, breathe out, do some like certain things. If I'm touching the table, like you're gonna hear everything. So I wanna go to the system settings. So I'm in the headphones. I don't want the output. I want the input, and the microphone is gonna be the that's what you hear. Let me go and make sure. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go to the anyone chat. So that's what you should be hearing. And now yeah, that's the volume. If I'm gonna decrease the volume, let's say to 60, I feel like it's gonna be better, and it's gonna sound better for things overall. I'm gonna put it to 75 or 80, let's say. Anyways, let's dig back into the screen here. My recommendations, as I mentioned before, if you don't have a lot of subscribers yet, if you are a YouTube beginner like me, I would stick to the headset, especially right now if you feel that the sound is better. If you're not hearing me breathe in or breathe out like that loud, it means that you just have to change the volume in system settings, which is okay. If you want to go with the microphone, the Blue Yeti microphone, honestly, it looks nicer, but the HyperX is going to be the winner in terms of quality. I really like this microphone much more than the Blue Yeti. And the icing on the cake is that it's a USB-C cable going into the microphone. And I'm trying to get rid of all other like old micro mini USB, whatever you want to call them. I hope this video has been informative. You're probably not gonna see a lot of the things that I recorded yesterday, especially at night when I started yawning and I was afraid I'm gonna wake up the kids. But I hope the video brought some value to you. And if it did, please consider subscribing. As I mentioned before, that would be amazing. I'm a YouTube beginner and I'm trying my best here, but I also want to document not just the IT consulting, IT security things, which is my domain, and like I'm doing some videos about it in a separate playlist, helping people jump to consulting. I want to share my experience, at least what I've learned so far, but I also want to document my journey building this YouTube channel. And I feel like this is very important for people to get to to start with. I'm not gonna do a lot of editing for this video just because I feel like most of the information there is important. I'm probably gonna have to hide my email, which you see. That's all. Wow, that was a lot of testing. Ciao.